The information that will be shared in this video, it's my understanding, my practice, but more important, my experience. So don't take anything that is going to be said here as the absolute truth. If you resonate with anything that is being said, you can put it into practice and let your experience determine the validity of what is being shared here. Having said that, enjoy this video. Hello, welcome to another episode of The End of the Search. This one I call it Stop Waiting and Just Be. What do I mean by that? What we're pointing to here is the obvious. It's not something that is going to happen in the future. It's the obviousness of the experience itself of being. Right now, could you say that you are not? See, you cannot deny experience, direct experience. And remember, I'm not talking to you, not person to person. This is consciousness or that, whatever you want to call it, supposedly talking to itself. Because in non-dualism, all that there is what is. So there's not even anything talking to itself. But within the limitations of language and the appearances, we have to use those words. When you are dreaming at night, and in the dream, it seems as though two people are talking to each other, you and somebody else. In reality, is the only mind that is dreaming the dream talking to itself. But again, within the context of the dream, let's go to the practicality of this. Okay? And the practicality is that right now you are being and you are always being. You see? You don't have to wait for anything to change or anything to happen. Just recognize in this moment, which is all there is, that I am. You see, that's what it's always pointing to. So, right now, we cannot deny direct experience. And then, what is it that overshadows direct experience? And the answer is a thought believed in. Right now, the experience is of beingness, pure beingness. Now thoughts will come across. Sensations will seem to be experienced. Situations may seem to change. But what you are, which is the ever-present or presence, never changes. And that is where this is always pointing to. This is what is so obvious. And it's overlooked because as long as I hold on to an identity, me, person, well, every thought, every sensation, everything will seem to have something to attach to. These are my thoughts. And if the thoughts change, I change. These are my feelings. And if the feelings change, I change. These are my circumstances. And if the circumstances changes, I change. But that is the trap. The real I, the essence of being, never changes. Thoughts appear in it. Sensations appear in it. Situations may seem to appear in it. But I am. You see? And I've done this before in other videos, but I'll keep doing it because it's the same message anyway. Let's put it to the test. Okay, let's put it to the test. I'm going to ask you right now to not identify with any thought. I didn't say the thoughts will not be there. I simply say just don't identify with them. Just be. Allow them to be, but you are. Just remain right now. Okay? Now, as you remain, as your being, What is the experience? If you answer that question, you're caught again in thought, in mind. Because in reality, I'm not asking for a response. No. I'm just simply pointing to what is. If I ask you, what is the experience, but don't identify it with thoughts, you won't give me an answer. You will simply be. Of course. Okay? Now, let's say that you are outside in the yard and I ask you the same question. What is the experience if you don't identify with the thought? The experience is the same. What if you're in the moon and I ask you the same question? What if you're in an airplane? What if you're in another country? Wherever I ask you the same question, do not identify it with any thoughts. What is the experience? And that experience is always the same. Is just experiencing. It's all there is. That's simple. So that is more in alignment to what you truly are. But thoughts are inconsistent. Sensations are inconsistent. Situations are inconsistent. But that experience that are pointing to is consistent. It always is. It is while you seem to wake up in the morning. It is while it seems as though you are living during the day. And it still is when you go to bed at night and go into deep sleep. The experience itself will always be. But when the mind is out of the way, like when you're in bed at night in deep sleep, not dreaming yet, when you're not dreaming, just in deep sleep, you still are. But the mind is not in the way. That's the difference. When you wake up in the morning, now the mind seems to be in the way and want to take credit for everything and ownership of everything, of feelings, of sensations, of experiences. But the truth is, you always are. You can never not be. See? And this is happening right now while it seems as though you are listening to this video. Being. You see? Pure beingness. And that's the invitation. Just rest in it. Because actually you cannot rest in it. You are it. Now always remember, and I will say this sporadically, that all of this is paradoxical. Because you, that seeming individual, is not going to do whatever I suggest you may want to do. Because in the end, you're not even in charge of your life, like I am not in charge of my life. Life happens. And if you haven't seen the video, Do I Have Free Will? I suggest you watch that video so we don't have to go into a discussion about this non-doership, if I'm the doer, if I'm not the doer, do I have free will or not. Just watch that video. The link is in the description. So technically speaking, whatever I say, you won't do it because I said so. You will do it because it's part of what you're supposed to do. And I always say, if life is bringing us together to remember this information, it could be said that life now is ready to experience itself as beingness, to wake up from this delusional experience or seeming experience of duality. And that's why this encounter seemed to happen. But all you got to remember is that right now you are being. You can never not be. And that's all that we're remembering. That's it. It's very, very simple. Put it to the test right now. Don't identify with any thoughts. Just be. You see? While you seem to be having this experience, if you don't identify with the content of the mind, you are being. And in that sense, it could be said, you are being happy. You are being peace. You are being love. You simply are. Well, this is what was inspired through this instrument. Hope it served, and as always, may peace permeate the mind so that love can be extended.